Hi girls! Well, I am going to try to make a video real quick. I kept meaning to, and to be totally honest, I did. I made about 3 and I played them back and I hated them all. And I'm like, what is this? I've been making videos for so long and that should never happen, but I've been really sick, and for some reason, when I play back videos where I'm really sick, I hate them and don't want to post them because I feel like I'm not acting like myself, if that makes any sense. But anyway, Shannon, I watched your video, and everything you said I felt with all my heart, and I'm so sorry that you're going through a rough time, and I know that it's going to pass, and I know you know that too. Oh, kind of crazy in this little fluffy jacket that I'm wearing, but it's cold in here, and I took a walk. I actually did get outside and took a little short walk today, and it was nice, but I'm freezing for some reason. And yeah, don't mind the mess behind me either. Um, but yeah, Shannon, I've been thinking of you, and I've been thinking of all of you girls, and so proud of all of you on a daily basis. And because I've been going through such a rough time, you guys, it really does inspire me every time I think about you guys and your strength. Um, I don't want to go into too much about what's going on with me because it's not the most exciting thing, but it's just basically been stuff with my cortisol and all of that, and I was in the hospital for a while, and it was such a reminder of what it's like to be doing that poorly, because it's been a long time since I've been doing this bad, and um, I've been down about it and really discouraged, but I have some amazing people in my life. Dustin's been incredible, and could not ask for a better person in my life. He's just been so supportive, and he actually slept in the hospital bed with me, and it was all tiny and we were all crushed, and and he actually somehow slept through the doctors coming in. He was in a deep sleep. But yeah, that makes a world of a difference, just having somebody unconditionally by your side like that. Um, but the other thing is, it's funny how people kind of show up in your life when you need them the most and just show such kindness. Like, we have a neighbor, and she's an older lady, she's in her 80s, but she looks amazing. She looks like she's in her 60s. And she saw that I was taken away by ambulance, and she's somebody that we've talked to a few times, and sometimes she brings us brownies, and she's just really, really sweet. But she saw that I was taken by ambulance, and she came running to the door after I was gone, and she was yelling my name because I think she thought Dustin got taken away because she knows about our conditions. And Dustin explained to her what happened, and she actually dropped Dustin off at the hospital and was offering to pick him up or do anything that we needed and take us to doctor's appointments. And of course, we're not going to take her up on all of that because we don't want to run the poor lady into the ground. But it's just so amazing to see people who barely know us reaching out to us like that. And it's amazing. I mean, we're in a city where we don't know anybody but each other. And we've been trying to make friends and kind of connections here, but it's been tough because of our health and because it's a big city. But slowly but surely we have a cab driver who is fantastic, and he's just so nice and upbeat every time we see him and asks how we're doing, and goes out of his way. And I was in the hospital thinking, wow, it's scary being in the hospital and only having Dustin in my life here, but at the same time, we're starting to create friendships and people that I'm really, really grateful for. So I've been trying to focus on things like that. Other than that, I've just been trying to plan stuff for my wedding, and it's amazing to be dealing with all of this yucky health stuff and all this life-changing all these life-changing things with my health, but at the same time I have this amazing thing going on, which is that I'm getting married, and I didn't envision having to deal with this kind of thing when I was planning my wedding years ago as a little girl, but one thing I did envision is just being in love, and I have that much, so I'm so grateful for that. And just been looking at gowns online and signing up at wedding sites, and there's a couple friends of mine who are also engaged, so I can't wait to talk to them about it, and can't wait to get back to New Jersey and really plan things in person with my mom and my wedding party. You girls obviously are all invited to the wedding, and I hope you can make it somehow, some way. It would be fantastic. It would mean more than anything for me to have you guys there. So that's what I've been doing. I've just been trying to focus on the positive things because that's all you can do sometimes. And there are so many things that are positive, and there always are. And I've been talking to a few people on Facebook, and I know for some reason it seems like a lot of people are having crashes and nobody's doing that great. Although some people are doing really good, and then other people are just doing horrendously. And I've been talking with people a lot about just not giving up and keeping hope and just fighting. And I know sometimes it feels like a constant battle, and it is sometimes, but you can't give up. You got to just keep pushing forward. And I've said this in so many videos, and it's funny. I look back and I've said this to so many people where they just go through so much, and I say keep fighting, keep moving forward, and it's redundant, but it's the truth. You can't give up because there is no option to. You've just got to keep fighting and believing that there's hope and that there are other options out there. And just when you think that you've turned over every stone, there's another one to turn over, and there's another possibility. So I'm hanging on to that hope, and I hope you guys do too. And before I go, I wanted to read a note that I wrote on Facebook just to share it with those of you who aren't on my Facebook. You'll have to excuse that I'm probably going to look like I'm staring off here. But this was something that I wrote last night. I was feeling kind of sad and discouraged, and I was just thinking about all the things that I have to be grateful for, and this is it. To my sick friends, sometimes you can impact the world in a bigger way when you're laying in bed sick than you can when you're standing up. I just realized it. For every day I didn't have the strength to hold a job, I grew more empathetic and less judgmental. For every day that I missed a fun outing with friends, I came up with a new idea to reach out to the world in other ways. And tonight, here I am, unable to go grocery shopping, but talking to such amazing people online whose strength and courage astound me. And how can I forget to mention, I have a fiance who I've shared hospital beds with. It's amazing how when you're in love, it suddenly doesn't matter that your IV is being pulled out of your arm because you're sliding off the bed, but he's sick and asleep and you never wake him. A fiance who's seen me at my worst, pale white and stomach achy, trembling because my heart rate's so high, but he still says I'm beautiful, and I believe him. I finally know what it's like to love someone so much that when they're sick, you don't care how many hours you have to spend in a pharmacy late at night waiting on a prescription that will make him feel better, and you miss him when he's sick and asleep, and you honestly don't care about anything in that moment except seeing him healthier and smiling. I have a best friend who deals every day with his own health struggles, who won't hesitate to call me at 3 a.m. when Dustin's sick. A best friend who, when I'm in the hospital, calls me up to remind me how strong I am. And I wouldn't know Frank if it hadn't been for this illness of mine. I spent October with some of the most amazing people in the world, and all of them were content to just do nothing except be together. We didn't need anything special to have a good time. Friends who catch each other when they literally fall, who stay in the hospital with each other after they've fallen, who lay around taking each other's blood pressure and reassuring each other that it'll be okay. Life with chronic illness gets terrifying at times. It is almost always hard, always a challenge, and often very, very lonely. There are times when I feel like I'm stuck inside a house that's crumbling to pieces. Times when I just want to throw up my arms and say that I quit. Times when the rest of the world seems like it's moving, and I'm stuck in the same place. But on nights like this one, sick and scared, I remember the blessings, big and small, that have come out of this illness of mine, and I'm grateful. An ordinary life will always be something I yearn for and dream of, but for now, I'm content with the life that I have. One that reminds me on a daily basis that I'm fragile but strong. A life that forces me to experience beautiful, genuine moments that I would otherwise never get to see. A life that in its own way never stops being an adventure and is always a story worth sharing. So that's my message to you guys this week. Just realize that illness is hard, and like I said in my note, it's always a challenge, it's always lonely and difficult, but beautiful things can come out of it, and they do on a daily basis, and you grow so much, and you're growing every day even when you don't see it, even on the days where you are crying in bed and you feel like you're about to give up. You are growing, and you are getting stronger, and you are getting more beautiful because you are experiencing so much, and it makes you stronger. So stay strong, girls, and everybody watching, and I will make another video soon. Love you guys.